Can you hear me? Okay, you're still joining. Can you hear me? Hello? It looks like you're having a problem hearing me. Let me make sure my it's on. Can you hear me? Okay, there you are.
Yes, I can
Let
hear
me you can hear me now? Okay, perfect. Give me 1 second. I think I want to transfer it to a computer. That way. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well.
Good, 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 good. Okay, so this one. Um, hmm. I'm having a hard time. Let me actually see if I can post it. I'm trying to pick up the link so I can be able to um open it up on my computer in case you send me something you want me to share. So I wanna make sure. Okay, let's say share.
Um, I did give you my PowerPoint presentation, correct?
I think you emailed it and I was just gonna find out where you sent it.
Okay.
Give me 1 second.
If you give me the opportunity to share, I can pretty much present it on
Right.
on the Zoom, so it's more easier anyway.
Okay. That's actually better. Um, Let me go on my computer because that's the main thing. Participant ID. Copy. Okay. Gives me 1 second so I can then do it here. Meeting with Bamidele. Okay, there we go. We had it. Okay. Perfect. I'll pick it up on my computer now. It'll be easier. It's a little bit chilly in here. I hate when the AC gets much colder than it is outside. It's just been going back and forth. And if I cut it off now, you make it. Okay. So let's see this one. And I'm gonna go to this one. Hmm. Why is it not showing? Okay, there we go. Okay. Waiting for the computer to populate. Okay, there we go. Now I'm gonna cut you off on this one once it comes on. Because otherwise we'll get an echo.
So you're gonna cut me out of this and have to rejoin you again?
No. You stay where you are. I'm cutting my phone off.
Recording in progress.
See, it's got echo. So I just have to cut. Mm. All right, let's cut this one. Okay, no more echo. All right, here. Okay, we are ready, and I am gonna do. Okay, then go ahead. Let me give you. You should have access. Oh, okay. Hold on.
I can
Who
just
can
click on
start
share.
sharing when someone else is sharing? All participant right here. I got it.
Yeah, I can just
Who
share
can
it.
share? Yeah, you can share.
Okay.
Yeah, you should see share. Do you see share?
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Okay,
I
perfect.
got pretty used to it, so
It's probably my Zoom is reminding me. Yeah, my Zoom is reminding me that we need to start.
it's taking some time.
Okay, I can see it. If you can, let me
Yeah,
see.
I'm just putting it to full screen so that you can see it.
Okay, good.
It's just taking some
Okay,
it's just taking some time to load, that's all. Okay, now it's loading. Okay. So, I'll just start. I'm a doctoral learner at Grand Canyon University,
okay.
and the title of my my study is predicting the correlation between financial self-efficacy and knowledge, behavior, and skills among non-governmental workers. And my
Could you go back to the previous slide?
let me see if I can do that. Hold on.
I think you're going forward instead of backward. Go backward.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. Hold on.
If you use the arrow on your computer, the backward, the left and right arrow, that usually serves. Otherwise, you could just close it and start over. Yeah,
Okay,
just kill it and start over.
okay. So I'm a doctoral learner at Grand Canyon University. And the title of my study is predicting the correlations between financial self-efficacy, knowledge, behavior, skills, and or attitudes in non-governmental employees.
Hmm.
And the name of my committee members include Dr. Andrew McGrid as my chair, Dr.
Okay.
Dr. Carrie Burner as my methodologist, and Dr. Peter James as my content expert.
Okay.
So here's a little bit of background from the study.
Okay.
So previous research has found that there's a need to find if and to what extent financial self-efficacy predicts financial knowledge, behavior, skills, and or financial attitude among adults between the ages of 25 to 55 who work in non-governmental organizations in the United States. So a previous research was conducted and it found that 2/3 responded in an American Psychological Association 2020 stressed that in America survey that reported that money was a significant source of stress in their life, a statistical that mirrors several years of previous findings. This study will emphasize the need to find to what extent financial self-efficacy predicts financial knowledge, financial behavior, financial skills, and or financial attitudes among adults between the ages of 25 to 55 working in non-governmental organizations in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So the purpose of my study is it is not known to what extent financial self-efficacy predicts financial knowledge, financial behavior, financial skills, and or financial attitudes among adults between the ages of 25 to 55 working in non-governmental organizations in the United States. My purpose statement is the purpose of this quantitative correlation predictive study is to examine if to what extent the financial self-efficacy predicts financial knowledge, financial behavior, financial skills, and financial or financial attitudes among adults between the ages of 25 to 55 working in non-governmental organizations in the United States. So here are my theoretical foundations. I have three theoretical foundations. And so the financial self-efficacy theory, I'm using that theory that's going to focus on measuring the financial self-efficacy.
Mm-hmm.
And then the importance of financial literacy theory, I'm using that theory that's in support of the financial knowledge, the financial skills, and the financial attitudes. And then the theory of behavioral finance, I'm using that theory that's going to be in support of measuring the financial behavior variable.
I see. So you taking as far as like the cognitive, oh, I'm sorry, it went away.
I can go back.
The social cognitive theory, you believe that is equal to financial self-efficacy?
So it's in support of
Of the
using,
financial self-efficacy?
yeah,
I see.
because financial self-efficacy, well, the social cognitive theory has like four different different parts of the social cognitive theory, which kind of like closes sign to financial self-efficacy. So, and there's many types of self-efficacy, but in this terms, I'm using financial self-efficacy. And so, every theory that I'm using has a connection with the variable that I'm studying.
I see.
And for
Okay.
the economic importance of financial literacy theory, that theory does kind of like go inside with the other three variables I'm using, which is the financial knowledge, financial skills, and the financial attitudes
Mm-hmm.
variable. So every theory that I'm using has a connection to the variable because this is a quantitative study. So every
Right, right.
every variable that you're studying has to have a theory that
Mm-hmm.
coincides with the instrument that you're using, and they all have connections to it. So you have to think of the variable, the theory, and then the instrument. So they all have
Mm-hmm.
three connections of how they tie together.
Okay.
So expected practical significance. So the social cognitive theory, this theory will examine the impact of adults who implement their financial self-efficacy to their everyday life situations. And then for the economic importance of financial literacy theory, this theory will extend to by examining whether and what to a degree it is relative to the customer financial self-efficacy. And then
Mm-hmm.
the theory of behavioral finance, I'm
Okay.
using that theory to examine the impact of adult decisions regarding their finances, which influences their financial behavior.
Okay. Here's one thing I will point out, and it's not in terms of the critical thing, is if you go to I need you to, before you meet them, the second and the third theory, title, put it in the same format, and it makes it it helps to see it clearer, which is which. So see how the social cognitive theory is in a
Yeah.
lighter, grayish format font?
Yes.
Put the economic importance of financial literacy theory in the same type of font, and then also the theory of behavioral finance also in the same font.
Okay.
It'll help the actual explanation of them stand out.
Okay. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So the research methodology and design. So I'm using a methodology, I'm using a quantitative methodology, which is appropriate because in question, I'm using the variables that will produce numerical data, which is best suited to analyze quantitatively. And then the nature of design is correlation predictive design because I'm using financial self-efficacy to determine if it predicts
The
I
knowledge.
yeah, knowledge, behavior, skills, or attitudes among adults who have this working population in non-governmental organizations.
I see.
Yeah. So here is the variables that I just mentioned earlier, and I'm using each of the variables, and I'm using 3 instruments.
Mm-hmm.
So the first instrument I'm going to be using the financial self-efficacy scale that was done by Loan 2011, and that has a continuous variable, and that has a Likert scale of 1 to 4, and that has 6 questions, and the Likert scale it has like a ratio where the participants are going to answer those questions according to the scale 1 to 4. And then for the financial literacy question that was done by Stella 2020, that has a continuous and a ratio of 1 to 5, and that has 3 different dimensions. And the first dimension is the first 2 dimensions of the financial literacy questionnaire has um the first 2 dimension focuses on financial knowledge and financial skills, and those have both 5 multiple choice questions, and that has a range as has a racial measurement of 1 to 5. And then also the financial attitude dimension, that dimension has 10 questions, and it has a racial Likert score from 1 to 7. And then for the revised financial management behavior scale, that has
Mm-hmm.
a Likert score of 1 to 5, and that has 15 questions.
I see.
Yeah. So here's my first research question. My first research question is, to what extent does financial self-efficacy predict financial knowledge among adults between the ages of 25 to 55 working in non-governmental organizations in the United States? And this is my known and alternative hypothesis for this question.
Hmm. So you're saying, hold on, let me make sure that it can. So you're saying the hypothesis to that would then that the self-efficacy does not significantly predict financial knowledge among those adults? And
Yeah.
they
So like, okay, so since I'm doing a quantitative study, and if you're doing a quantitative study,
have to weigh the two.
yeah, you obviously you're gonna have hypothesis, because I'm measuring the variables I'm using statistical data. I'm gonna be using a statistical analysis to measure these questions.
Mm-hmm.
So these questions, if you're doing a quantitative study, you're gonna have some type of like hypothesis that either rejects the known hypothesis or
Right.
accepts the hypothesis.
Okay.
So 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 the first one is the known hypothesis is financial self-efficacy does not significantly predict financial knowledge among
Right.
adults between ages of 25 to 55 working in non-governmental organizations. And then the other hypothesis, the alternative hypothesis, which is financial self-efficacy does significantly predict financial knowledge among adults between the ages of 25 to 55 working in non-governmental organizations in the United States.
Okay.
So, so my second research question is, to what extent does financial self-efficacy predict financial behavior among adults between the ages of 25 to 55 working in non-governmental organizations in the United States? And these are my known and alternative hypotheses for this research question.
Hmm.
And then my third research question is, to what extent does financial self-efficacy predict financial skills among adults between the ages of 25 to 55 working in non-governmental organizations in the United States? And this is my known and alternative hypothesis for this question. And then my fourth research question is, to what extent does financial self-efficacy predict financial attitudes among adults between the ages of 25 to 55 working in non-governmental organizations in the United States? And this is my known and alternative hypothesis for this question.
There's not significantly. Okay.
So my population is sample. So my unit of analysis is non-governmental workers, and they all have to work at least 35 hours or more to be qualified to participate for my study. And they all have to range between the age of 25 to 55 who reside in the United States. And my unit of observation is the same population, which is like all non-governmental workers who fit the criteria of working 35 hours or more. And they have to
Right.
be between the ages of 25 to 55 who reside in the United States. And then my population of interest is all working adults between the ages of 25 to 55 years who reside in the United States. And then my target population would include all working adults between the ages of 25 to 55 years are working in non-governmental organizations in the United States. So, and then my priority sample.
Well, you listed on the Survey Monkey. Okay, that you prepared the Survey Monkey already. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then my G power, which is my sample, I have to have at least 85 participants, but I have to account for 25% of that because sometimes when you do research, some of the participants may not answer all your questions a lot, and you may have some issues with some outliers or certain assumptions that may not work for me. So I had to add 25% to that. So I will have to have at least 106 participants.
Yeah.
So my justification for the study, I have to have at least 85 participants, and my recruitment strategy is going to be through an online tool like social media using Facebook and LinkedIn. And there are no ethical concerns at this time.
I see.
So, like I said earlier, my population is gonna be all working adults between the age of 25 to 55 who work in non-governmental organizations, and they have to fit the criteria of having 35 hours or they work 35 hours or more weekly, and they have to reside in the United States, and they have to be between that age bracket of 25 to 55.
Can I see the previous slide on that? Sorry about that. There was something that hit me that I want to disconnect to the other one. Type of sample justification recruitment method. Okay, so no, it was just that one.
You mean this one?
Well, this one is also good. Unit of observation on non-government target. No, it's a target population, but it's the one next there, right there.
To this
Did
one
they
right here?
require you a certain size of primary sample, or you just randomly pick?
Well, so we have to have at least 3 sources of how we're going to collect our data. So my first technique is going to be through SurveyMonkey audience. And then if I don't reach my minimum sample size of 106, then I go through social media, which is Facebook, which is my second area of where I get participants. And then my third option is through snowballs method, where
Okay.
I go to LinkedIn and I like post my my um my survey link through either Facebook or LinkedIn, but it's going to be on my personal website.
I see.
So, like I said earlier, these are the instruments that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using the financial self-efficacy scale that was validated by Loam 2011. I'm also going to be using the financial literacy questionnaire that was validated by Stella 2020. And I'm also going to be using the revised financial management behavior skill that was validated by Dewey and Chow 2011.
I see.
So these is my data collection procedures. I had to receive IRB approval to conduct my study, and I'm going to be using I'm going to be using convenient sampling and snowball sampling. I'm going to recruit my participants by using an exclusion and exclusion criteria, so that the participants know that these are the guidelines, these are the requirements for you to participate in my study. And if you don't hit those, if you don't meet those requirements, you cannot participate in the study. So, and that's what is in that is what is in the informed consent as well. And
I
then
see.
so in the conformed consent, which is on the first page of my survey link, the participants read the entire informed consent, which kind of like tells them what is their rights and what are their what is required for me to participate in the study. So,
Okay.
it's all spelled out there for them. And the survey monkey I'll get my responses through SurveyMonkey audience, and then once I get all of my responses, I'm going to obtain the results through SurveyMonkey audience, and then I'm going to export them into SPSS 29.
Oh, okay.
And this is going to be my data analysis procedure. So I'm going to be using when I collect my data, I'm going to be using a multiple linear regression analysis that's in layered. I'm going to clean and compile any missing data when participants skip a question. I'm going to be doing a reverse coding for word items on the instruments.
Okay.
And I'm going to establish and develop descriptive statistics for the variables. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to test the assumptions. I'm going to do description of the test and what the if the
What was
path
the assumptions again? Let me go back and see.
um I'm actually it's gonna actually it's actually the next slide after this.
Okay, perfect. Okay. I was like, I didn't see that.
Yeah. So, and after for some reason I may not be required to do a run a post hoc test if I hit my minimum sample size, but
Okay.
if that will happen, then that will be required, but it's not necessary. So I'm
Mm.
going to also test for humanity using the Sharp Park Wilt test as well. So here are the test of,
Assumptions. Okay,
yeah.
perfect.
So these are the test of assumptions for the multiple regression analysis. So there are 8 assumptions, and these 8 assumptions include I'm going to test for the the predictor variable, which is the financial self-efficacy, has to be continuous. And then my criteria variable, which is the independent variable, which is financial knowledge, behavior, skills, and attitudes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to also test for independence of observation. I'm going to also test for linearity. I'm also going to test for homostaticity. I'm going to also test for multiple linearity. I'm also going to test for outliers. I'm also going to test for normality as well. And if all these assumptions pass, then I hit the assumption test. But if any of these assumptions fail, then I'm gonna have to change. I can also do another statistical test where I can do the Spearman or the Kindle correlation, and that has three assumptions, and these three assumptions include like two of the variables must be measured on a at least ordinal scale, and then the data for the two variables are paired, and then there is multiple multiplicity relationship between the two variables.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for your time. Do you have any questions? And these are my references right here.
Awesome. Okay. Okay, so the only thing and this is just from as an outsider looking in, and I'm not sure if there any of your chair or any of the other people I've mentioned, like on the assumption, if we could go back to the it'll be this from the back, it would be the fourth slide, I think. But the slide before assumption, we can say on the following assumptions so that they know it's coming. Yeah. You're gonna say, okay, go back to that, the one before this one.
So before or after?
Before. Before this one. Okay, there you go. So it says correlation predicted design will be used to determine if financial efficacy, knowledge, financial behavior, financial skills, and financial attitude by applying a multiple linear regression analysis with statistics. Okay. Hmm.
So to give
Yeah.
some clarity, I'm only going to use the like for the last four, I mean the
Mhm.
last two, like where I say test for humanity using the short part will test, or run a post hoc data analysis such as post hoc G power effect size if any required. If this is when I use, like, let's say I use all three of my avenues to collect my data, and I for some reason I wasn't able to hit my minimum sample size. And say, for example, if one of the assumptions, for example, if one of these assumptions fail, say, for
Mhm.
example, if the assumption for normality, the last assumption fails, I had to correct that assumption to make sure that it's clear. Now, if I'm not able to, correct this assumption, then that's where, you know, I will have to incorporate this assumption already. The other two assumptions. So when you're doing a statistical analysis for
Mhm.
a test, like, because I'm doing a predictive correlational study. And when I'm doing that, I'm going to use a multiple linear analysis to test
Okay.
for the
That's it.
variables I'm studying.
Okay.
And in um these 8 assumptions here are the assumptions for the multiple linear regression analysis. And all of these assumptions have to pass in order for me to run my G part analysis in order for it to be a statistically um significant. So, and that's when I'm testing my hypothesis and making sure that it's statistically significant. And if all these assumptions pass, then um, I don't have to necessarily do these other assumptions here for the Spearmint or the Kendall Hawk correlation. This is just, for example, if for in fact, if my assumptions for for my multiple linear gases does not work, if one of the assumptions fail, then I have to have a fallback to what assumptions I can do um for my analysis of my study. So the committee already knows this already.
I
So,
see. Because you
so like
reviewed it before. That's why I was trying to make sure that we can connect the dots. Like for someone who's just, I didn't see it before, but then to say, test the assumptions. That means that you set the assumptions before, and perhaps what it will be test assumptions instead of the assumptions, because when with that there, it gives us impression that it was already reviewed on the previous chapter. I mean, on the previous slide.
yeah, but that's the reason why I have a methodologist anyway. So
Right.
my methodologist is sort of like the person that understands these things more thoroughly, because she's, you know, the methodologist is pretty much the one that would go, is kind of like, is testing you, they're kind of like navigating me through my methodology and how am I going to analyze and collect my data. So that's where they're there for. They're there to navigate me through the process. And my my content expert, which is sort of like Dr. Peter James, he's sort of like the navigator of my chapter 2, my literature review. So
Okay.
he's mostly looking at this part here, the theoretical foundations, the review of literature, my problem space, and my problem gap, my problem space and my problem statement, and making sure that I'm using the right theories that coincides to my variables.
I
Um,
see.
when I was doing some research about the the importance of the economic importance of financial literacy theory, originally I was going to use the itemized response theory, because that theory measures financial knowledge.
Mm,
But when I was doing some research on how that theory came about, that theory is mostly geared towards education. So
I see.
it's not an appropriate theory for me to use, since I'm a
Mm,
business major.
I
So
see.
so when I looked at this theory, the economic importance of financial literacy theory, that that coincides with all the 3 variables that I'm using, which is the financial knowledge, the financial skills, and the financial attitudes. That's a better theory to measure, because it measures those three variables.
I see. So it kind of kills all in one. Okay, that sounds good. All right, we can go to the end of this one.
Do you have any questions or?
No, I'm gonna now look into it more. Um, I like the format. I like the slide formatting, the colors and stuff. Is that the school's color or you chose
Yeah,
that?
it's a school's color. Yeah,
Okay, I see. So this was like a pre-template that they give you guys then?
yeah.
Okay.
There's also one I just downloaded. There's also the one for the final dissertation.
Mm-hmm.
So the final dissertation incorporates other slides. It incorporates these slides that I've created, but it
Okay.
incorporates my findings and all the other um final things for my dissertation. So
Okay.
um, yeah, I'm just really working ahead and just, plugging in there. So, and understanding that as a novice researcher, that I'm learning a lot. I'm reading a lot of articles. I'm learning a lot about my topic and the literature, and really just being that really independent scholar. And it's like, these people on my committee members, they're my future peers, especially like my chair. So I can't, I can go for them for guidance on how to really navigate through my process. But like, for example, like my chair is my senior manager. He's the one that is really that manages my committee members. He manages the communication between all the committee members, including my peer reviewer as well. So, and
That's good.
he's the one that is helping me to really navigate through these complex um milestones in order for me to hit towards graduation, become that independent scholar.
Right.
And like I said earlier, the content expert and the methodologies are in support of the chair, which is really just helping me to navigate through these processes. So, and so Dr. Carey Burner is sort of like methodologies that navigates me through my methodology and my design. And then Dr. Peter James is the one that navigates me through my literature review and the content of my study. And so just like the AQR reviewer, that kind of like navigates me through the feasibility for my study. So in a nutshell, can you actually conduct the study? So like, for example, do you have your SurveyMonkey link set up? Do you have permission to use the instruments? Do you have do you have do you have permission to use the instruments from the authors? And have you do you have site approval from SurveyMonkey link to actually post your link on the
On the actual website. Oh
yeah,
wow. So and
yeah.
then you gotta worry about what you post too, because in terms of copywriting and things.
Yeah. But even though you have to make sure that you have to have site approval, which is through SurveyMonkey audience, which I already have. And they gave me a letter that I sent through my school that gives me, permission to use it. And also I have the letters through the three authors to have permission to use the instruments as well. So without that, you don't have a feasible study. You cannot conduct your study if you don't have those in line. So that's really important. So that's why I have an ACAR reviewer. So, and the
Mhm.
ACAR reviewer is the one that is sort of like the vice president of my dissertation. So there's so she so the so this person is above your committee members. They're above the chair.
Right.
They're
Kind of
above
like an overseer and make sure things go smoothly.
yeah, and they're above the committee members and the chair, because that person pretty much approves both your proposal and your final dissertation document and and signs off on your dissertation. So once that is done, when you go through formatting for publication, they will sign off on it and the dean signs it, and then you're done. So it's it's one of it's I'm even trying to learn how to really enjoy the journey as as I go along. And um
Press that down.
it's a journey, but it's my own personal doctoral journey, and everybody's journey is different. And
Right.
is
Depending on the
I always get
study.
asked the question, not only by my mom but by other people, saying like, when are you going to get this done? I'm like, this is a journey that takes some time for you to develop. And unless if you're in the doctoral program and if you understand the dynamics of the whole thing, um you need to really do some research about the doctoral program, understanding what the doctoral program is all about, because this is what it is. If you cannot produce new knowledge in the field and be that person that contributes to the existing body of knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
there's really no need for you to do a research. In fact, people don't really have no um business in the doctoral program, because people don't understand that at the end of the day, once you earning your doctorate is not about also getting your terminal degree, but what will get you to get your terminal degree is to think like you're thinking in an independent scholarly mindset, where you're a researcher that's conducting your own research, and you have a valid reason why you're doing this research and is in the gap. So if you don't have what is not known in the literature that needs to be known, that will give you the reason why you're conducting your research. Otherwise, you don't have no basis why you're conducting research. You're just kind of like, I would say, you're replicating um other researchers, what they did, but you're not adding no new information to the existing body of knowledge.
Okay. Okay. I don't have any question, but I would love to with the one that you sent me, I would look into it more details now. I don't have any question right now. Predicting correlation between financial self-efficacy, So we're looking for the correlation between efficacy and knowledge, or efficacy and skill of the skill in terms of the behavior. Well, that's actually separate. In terms of the behaviors, daughters. Yeah, the knowledge of it as well. Hmm. Okay. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay. So did you present it to them before, or is this a new was this always the one you presented before?
Well, I've been working on this for months now. and
Okay.
and for now, I'm just kind of like, I'm in this waiting period. I'm waiting for my ACAR review to approve my proposal, my first 3 chapters. So in that waiting period, I'm working on changing what I written from chapters 1 to 3 to past tense. I'm
Okay.
working on, practicing my proposal defense. I'm working on the IRB application. I'm working on, SPS, working on dummy data sets and SPSS, so I can, once I collect my data, I know how to collect my data and analyze it in SPSS. I'm reading other dissertations that use the same methodology in chapters 4 and 5, so that once it comes time for me to draft certain sections, I'll be able to know what my methodologist is looking for and what my ACAR review is looking for. So I look at dissertations where they were a chair or methodologist for, so I can incorporate, when I write my own chapter 4 and 5, I can incorporate, what other dissertations that they were a methodologist or a chair for, to understand what they're looking for. So,
Hmm.
and
Okay.
I'm just kind of like working ahead so that, I'm
Right.
not just waiting and twiddling down my thumbs. I can be doing a lot of other things as well. Because at
Right.
the end of the day, you're not done until the dean signs it. So until
Okay.
you hit the D80, which is the dean signature, that is when you have completed and successfully defended your dissertation.
Right. Okay. Sounds good. Congratulations in advance.
Yeah.
I'll be reading more about it. Alrighty. Okay, any other thing?
No, that's it.
Okay. And what do we review on the fourth week? Do we
Uh, the fourth week, the fourth Saturday, the fourth Sunday. That's fine. I can practice more on the fourth. Yeah,
well
which
yeah.
is
Mhm.
what day is that?
And how many do you here's a question I have. Do they give you how many minutes you can present it to?
So I looked at the webs. I looked at the dynamics of the dissertation. It's actually 30 minutes. Um,
Okay.
the whole proposal is actually an hour, but 30 minutes. It's kind of like the chair is sort of like the boss of the whole dissertation, the whole proposal, and what will happen is that what will happen is that the chair will kind of like do the administration stuff of like introducing the committee members, introducing me as a student, and then I present 30 minutes, or I think it's 20 minutes because this is like what I presented was like in 15 minutes. So it's mostly
Right.
roughly,
And it was with my interruptions too. Remember, keep that in mind.
yeah.
I wanted to know the minutes, the requirement, find out about it before next time, because I want to time you, even though we'll go through, this is like a read through, a read through for us right
Yeah.
now.
It's
But I
actually
wanna,
it's actually for me, it's actually 20 minutes. I actually
okay,
that's my chair. I actually
okay,
it's 20 minutes.
okay,
But then for my dissertation, I'm gonna actually present it for 30 minutes. So um I can actually stop sharing.
okay. Yeah, you're good. That's fine. All right, perfect. Yeah. Yeah, so find out the like you said it's 20 minutes for sure.
Yeah, for the proposal defense,
Yeah.
I present 20 minutes because
Okay.
what I present was mostly I did it in 15 minutes. So it's roughly that time slot, 20 minutes.
Okay.
But for the final dissertation defense, I present 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, 30 minutes.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's fine. Yeah, then I'll know. I'll keep that in mind next time so that we can make sure we go through it without you rushing and yet without you delaying, We
Okay.
test all that. We test the timing as well. Okay?
Okay.
All righty. Well, good job.
Okay. So you'll email this to me, right? The recording?
The recording, yes. I'm gonna go ahead actually right now and when we stop the recording, it'll be share. Yeah, when I get the email, I'll forward it to you. The
Okay.
email comes within about probably 5, 10 minutes after we finish.
Okay.
Once I end it.
Okay.
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 All right. I'll see you later.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Take care. Bye.